Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So as you probably know, it's been a long while since I've made any videos, probably since like a month or more, I don't know, but yeah, I have had many videos that I've been planning previously, but since I haven't been able to get around to those, I decided just to scrap them all, and we're gonna start fresh on a clean slate. Um, if you guys haven't seen the community post I put up for videos, be sure to check that out and take a vote. Um, if you haven't already. So far, the one that's winning is the Ninjago one, not the gaming one. Y'all know if you've seen it. Um, thing about that, the app is on my phone, and yeah, I didn't think about how to record it because my phone is the usual device for recording, with which I'm recording this video on. So I didn't really think that far when I was posting that, but then again, I was probably posting that at 3 in the morning because I like to stay up late. I like nighttime. Midnight's my favorite time, whatever. But anyways, we're just gonna talk about some things today. It's just gonna be random, mainly talking about Ninjago and Monkey Kid, just because why not? Sorry, I'm a little hot right now, and we're just going to be talking about things there and just having a bit of a blast. Let me just get a drink. Okay, so we're going to be talking about Ninjago and Monkey Kid, like I said. Oh, that kind of hurt. Yes, this is what I've done to my wrist. It doesn't need to be this long. It's like around, like, it should be shorter, but better to have it longer because it would come off otherwise, knowing me. But it's just like all the way down here, and then when I took it off, it was clicking when I was doing that, like a bit harder, obviously. It's basically a washable one, so you can reuse it and stuff. But I was like going like that, and it was like clicking. That kind of hurts. Okay, so enough messing around. Let's get on with what we're going to be talking about here, which is Ninjago and Monkey Kid. Ow, that hurts. Anyways, so as you all know, if you haven't seen my community from a while ago, because not everyone sees it, but oh well. But majority of you, if not all of you, would have seen it that on the 2nd of May, Ninjago had been my comfort show for 3 years exactly. Which is a coincidence because, as you all know, as majority of you know, my anxiety is caused from my dad, Steve. And so, coincidentally, his birthday is the 2nd of May. So I pushed that aside and focused on Ninjago that day. I said, like, right, fuck the anxiety. Oh, sorry, cursing. Not everyone likes that, but whatever. Screw that. It's Ninjago's day as well. Ninjago was my comfort show 3 years ago today. So I focused mainly on that on my community. I put up a post and whatever. But coincidentally, his birthday is the same day that Ninjago became a coping mechanism, and that Lloyd became my comfort character. Do you believe that it's a coincidence? Who knows? But there is more to that than you know. So, Ninjago, I had gotten back into it before that day. I had grew up with watching Ninjago since like the very beginning, but I ended up losing track of it and forgetting about it. And it was mainly my brother's thing anyways, but even he ended up forgetting in the end. But anyway, around that time, I was in year 8, so it was the time of COVID, and we was on so it was on lockdown, and we had the school break, and it was a Sunday. I think it was the day before we go back to school. I can't remember. But we're just flicking through TV, and the Ninjago movie was on. Now, prior to that, I'd been writing stories on my iPad here, my small one that has a crack on it for like the 3rd time running, or was it the 2nd time? I don't know. But I have this ink pad where I write all my stories, but I don't post these. And I was just like ages ago, I was writing some stories, and I was like coming towards the end or whatever, and I was running out of ideas. And then I saw this advert for Sky, and this girl in the advert could go into her favorite cartoons and stuff. I'm pretty sure it was like, I don't know, Paw Patrol, Trolls, and a Ninjago movie. Don't question me on that. I could be wrong, but I don't know. That's not important. But I definitely remember seeing the Ninjago movie, and because Kai was climbing into his mech in the advert, so I was like, "Ooh, do I do a Ninjago one?" Because I recognized the show, and I was thinking about doing that one as a story. So I was like, you know what? I'll probably do a Ninjago one. But who's going to be the main character? Because for each story, I have a main character. But I had no idea. So I decided, like, whatever, I'll start giving out plans. So I started planning the story, and I had like this whole book full of paper. I'm sure I've got it buried somewhere. That I decided to write the story on, so like write down the ideas first. And that was then I created my Orange Ninja OC. She's up on the wall with a bunch of others, but it's mainly my posters now. As you can see, I've got all my Lloyd behind me again. But anyways, I created my Orange Ninja OC, gave her powers, all this and all that, and then we came to the day that the Ninjago movie was on TV, and I missed the majority of the beginning. It got to the scene where they were at the docks with the boat destroyed. They thought Master Wu was dead, but he's not, and then they start heading off to the jungle. So I watched from there all the way through the movie. Now, at some point, I don't remember how, but I don't remember exactly why, but I ended up like zoning out or whatever. So I was watching the movie, but I just wasn't paying no attention to what was going on and stuff. And it got to the scene where like they were heading back down to the city, and Jay used his lightning powers. Now, there's a reason why I didn't tell you what powers my Orange Ninja has. Her powers were lightning. And of course, that's in that scene I was like, oh, Jay has the same powers as my OC that I created the day before. So I instantly was drawn to Jay, and he was going to be the main character for the story. Yes, that is the truth. Jay wasn't actually the first ninja Jay was the first ninja I simped for, not Lloyd. Oh well, who cares? But I was watching it, I was going through it, and that's basically that. Sorry, it's just really hot in here. I should have taken my hoodie off. But anyways, Jay was the first ninja that I simped for. And I ended up seeing it on TV. I was like, oh, that's Ninjago, the series. I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting back into it, after a long time, back to the show, back into the fandom, all that, catch up on what I missed, etc., etc. And I watched, and the episode that was on TV was the episode with that giant bug from season 11, that Jay called Bernie. And I was watching the episode, and this is my year 8 self, so I'm obviously going to be really stupid. I mean, I'm still quite stupid now, but, And Nia ended up catching Jay. He was like, oh, I love you, Nia, or whatever it was. And I was like, okay then. I can't simp for Jay. But that's basically that. And then somehow I ended up simping for Lloyd. I don't know how that happened, but I did. And then before I knew it, it was my comfort show on the 2nd of May. And then I was watching it on Netflix. I watched from season 11 all the way to Master of the Mountains. I was like, right, there's no more seasons, what am I going to do? There's this other Ninjago, but they all look weird because Jay has flat hair and all this and all that. Not realizing that's how they used to look. Because I ended up forgetting. So eventually I decided to watch the Masters of Spinjitzu, and I watched the first episode and it was funny as heck. I was like, I'm never going to take this show seriously. Of course, I was eating my words by the end of season 10, but even so. And I got to season 2, and the episode that was on was Child's Play. Eventually. And I was rolling through the episode. I was like, okay, this is all new to me because I haven't seen it in forever. And then they got to that scene where Lloyd and that kid was, what's Majiggy? Doing the thing for the comics in it. doing the thing with seeing who knows the comics better or whatever for the glowing sword things. Can't remember what they're called. But anyways, it got to that scene. I was like, oh wait, I recognize that scene. I remember it from when I was a small child, probably about, I don't know how old I was, but I remembered watching that scene on TV ages back. I was like, you know what? I really like this episode. It is my favorite episode. Only because it's my favorite episode now for 2 reasons. 1, because I could remember it, and 2, because the adorable kid ninja. I mean, come on, what's to love about the kid ninja? I mean, they were so cute. Okay, I should stop fangirling. But basically, that's my favorite episode, and that's how it became my favorite episode. Mainly because I could remember it. But eventually it changed to be because the kid ninja were just so adorable. What's not to love? So obviously I ended up finishing that and enjoying it, and then Suban came out, and then Crystallized has come out last year, and then we got the new season for this year. So that's all that. For those who don't know, I was supposed to be watching Crystallized and then talking about the seasons. I was meant to do that ages ago. I never finished watching Crystallized. I need to. I got up to episode 12 and I still haven't watched it. I was like trying to rewatch it once and then I got distracted. Another time I was trying to watch it, I got up to like episode 5 and I got bored. I don't know what's happened, but I don't know. Crystallized just doesn't seem that appealing so far to me, but it's probably because I know Harumi's in it and I just hate Harumi on so many levels, but hey ho, here we go. So eventually I will watch that. No promises on when. I'll get through it, and then obviously the new season's coming out, so when that comes out I'll be watching that, and then I'll be talking about the seasons and my opinions. I'll also include the pilots because the pilots were the beginning of Ninjago. But besides from that, that's basically the originality of me and Ninjago. The fact that Jay was actually the first ninja I simped for. If I still simped for Jay, obviously my channel would not be called Lloyd's Girl, for obvious reasons, but yeah, Jay was basically like the main character I simped for, and obviously that changed by like I think it was, what was it? Was it actually the 2nd of May that I ended up simping for Lloyd as well? I'm pretty sure it was. I know it was definitely the 2nd of May I ended up it was my comfort show, but I can't remember exactly when Lloyd became a comfort character. It was around that time anyways. Probably before, maybe after. I don't know. But that's basically how I got into Ninjago, or back into Ninjago if you want to be theoretically speaking. And then obviously I was getting all the minifigures and all the sets and stuff. Like I said, my brother used to be into it, and he had a few of the minifigures. He had Jay, Kai, Zane, and Cole. So I borrowed them from him. I still have those. And then I was getting the magazines with the characters in. I'm getting all the sets and stuff. So that's all good. A while ago I did, like a long while ago, I did post saying I got a few new characters. That was Little Lloyd, Skylar, and was that Lady Iron Dragon, if I remember correctly? I don't know. I barely remember anything anymore. But I did post some of those. I have added other characters since then. Some of them being Scott, Ice Master Zane, when he was the Ice Emperor Zane, not Ice Master. We've had I've got Ed and Edna now. A couple of others. And I am getting some more soon. I'm getting a total of 7 more. I can't count. I'm getting 7 more minifigures. I don't know for sure if they're Ninjago. Like my mom gave me a little thing saying that they might not be Ninjago. So hopefully I might be getting some monkey kid characters, because I have no monkey kid, like no minifigures, no sets. And since I've gotten into it, I've been like asking for some of those minifigures. So I'm wondering which ones I'll be getting there. There's no guarantee that all of them will be Ninjago, but there is no guarantee that there's gonna be some monkey kid. It's just like there's a little thing saying that some of them might not be Ninjago, but I don't know for certain. Hopefully we'll get some of those Monkey Kid characters. My main character that I'm hoping for is obviously MK, because he's the main guy. And I'll just probably do him messing around with Kai, because of the hair. I'll probably be switching the hair around a lot on those two. Excuse me. And then we'll just be rolling around with whatever we got. Obviously I'm hoping for MK. That's the main one because he was the main character I got into. We'll be coming with that there shortly. But I'm also hoping for Red Sun just because, Wukong just because, and Macaque just because. We'll come to that in a sec. But I'm also hoping for Mei as well because she's awesome. What's not to love about Mei? Iron Fan would be another good character. Again, just because there's a lot of good characters. I don't really rate Pigsy and Tang that much. I mean, they are cool, I admit, but they're not the main characters I want to get as minifigures, you know? It's obviously going to be the more big ones, really, which is mainly MK, Wukong, Mei. You get the gist, you know, like the big ones at the top. I don't know. You know what I mean. Like Lloyd, the big main guy, you know? Sugar. I really didn't think about that, did I? I was just like that, and then ow. Anyways, so hopefully I could get some Monkey Kid characters, and then hopefully I'll be getting some Monkey Kid sets eventually. There's no promises, there's no guarantee, but oh well. You guys can tell me which characters you think I could be getting, Ninjago and Monkey Kid. Let's see if we can predict some of the characters. I do have loads of Ninjago characters already, so I'm gonna have to go through them all in another video. Just saying, these are all the characters I've got, so I'm obviously not going to be getting them again, unless I'm getting them in a different outfit, like the ninja in different outfits, like, I don't know, Movie Ninja Kai, either casual or in his outfit, whatever. So there is some things that could be the same, but characters like, I don't know, characters like Ed and Edna that I've had recently, I won't be getting those again because I already have those. But depending on, like, if some have other costumes, then I'm obviously going to be getting duplicates, but in other outfits. Speaking of which, now I remember that my mum did say that some were duplicates but slightly different, and she said that one of them, I'm pretty sure, that was like she had to think on whether it was a hero or a villain. So which character would be, which is a hero but kinda seems like a villain? I don't know, she had to think about it. I was like, do you know which season they're from? She's like, no, of course you don't. I'm the one who's overly obsessed. But she had to think of whether they're a hero or villain or not. So that could be a bit of a clue. Which character is a bit in between? I mean, I already have Ronan, so it's not him. I'm hoping. I already got Ronan a while back, so I don't want another one. But who knows? Who knows what we could get? We could get any of them. But I'm hoping for some Monkey Kid characters, especially the ones that I mentioned, because why not? Oh, there is another one that I'm really dying for, but it's a Ninjago character. It's Nelson. We need little Nelson. I don't have him yet. He's another one of my favorites, alongside the Ninja and Moro. Well, I don't really rate Nia that much, but to be fair, it's just the guy Ninja and Moro. So, but I could use with Nelson. He's one that I've been asking for a while. I had been asking for Moro for ages. I got him last year on my birthday, but prior to that, I'd been asking for an entire year. So I had to wait one whole year before I got him. And I also got Sensei Garmadon that day, so it was a good day. I'm thinking about the bad stuff that happened there as well, but we don't talk about that. So, I'll be wondering which characters we're getting. Maybe we could get some Elemental Masters, and since Camille has come out recently, I could now get her eventually as well. I don't really have many of the Elemental Masters. I have Skylar and the Ninja and Moro, Wu and Garmadon obviously, so yeah, I could use with some of the Elemental Masters. I really like Nero, so I'm probably hoping for him as well. But we don't know. There's 7 of them, so we have 7 characters to work with. A bunch of Ninjago ones, and a certain amount of Monkey Kid, because Ninjago has way more characters than Monkey Kid, but oh well. We're just gonna have to figure it out. But you guys can tell me who you think I'm gonna get, and let's see who's right. I don't know. But like I said, we were talking about Ninjago and Monkey Kid, so now let's go on to the Monkey Kid part of this video. So, got into it like 3 months ago, I don't know exactly, but when I was watching it, now we can take it 2 ways. My first episode that I watched, or the first full episode I watched, since the first episode I watched, I didn't watch it from the beginning. I watched it halfway through. Basically it was on TV, like the Ninjago movie, and it was that episode, what was it, episode 8, I believe. It is with the key, the skull key, or whatever it's called. And I didn't see it from the beginning, but it was that scene where MK was coming down with his staff, and he ruined that date between that random couple. And to be fair, thinking back on that, I actually thought that random guy was kind of cute. But anyways, I watched from that scene and onwards, and I was just rolling with it. I was like, okay, this seems cool. This is nice. I like this. And it got to the end. I was like, okay, I really like this so far. So I was like, okay, what episode is on next? The following episode. So I watched the episode, and it was going through the intro, and I was vibing with the intro because it sounded really cool. So I enjoyed the intro. I was like, okay, let's see how this episode is going to turn out. And of course, it was coincidentally going in episode order. So after episode 8, it was episode 9, which was none other than the episode called Macaque. There's a lot with that. We're gonna get there. So, I watched that episode, and I was like, okay, this is what's happening, this, blah, blah, blah. And obviously, I knew who was a villain, because it was just obvious, and not to mention, he's shady. And I got to the end of it, I was like, right, I really like Monkey Kid now. I've gotten into it. I quite like it. I want to see more. However, I didn't really like the character Macaque at all. No. There was no opinion on him yet, because I didn't know much about him, since I had only seen him in 1 episode. But I didn't really rate him that much. So anyways, I watched the following episode after that, which was episode 10. And I was watching that, and whilst watching it, I was like, why do I want to take screenshots of MK? I was like, why? So I tried to ignore it and just continue watching the episode, and I enjoyed that as well. So I was like, I'm definitely going to be liking this. And so I went to go find the Monkey Kid on the website I use to watch it, because we don't got Netflix, but oh well. It's called WCoStream. It's where you can watch cartoons and animes for free. You don't even need to sign in. You just go onto the website, you type in what you're looking for, or you can just scroll through the extremely long list of shows and stuff, and you can find everything there. I mean, Monkey Kid is a bit of a pain to find. I don't know about you guys, but when I was looking for it, it wasn't under L, it was under M, and sometimes it would like disappear or whatever. But it is there. You just have to scourge around for a bit for that. But anyways, I ended up watching season 1, and I really enjoyed it. And that night I was in bed, and I decided to read a Monkey Kid story, because why not? And that Monkey Kid story was where the YN was added to a random group chat, because MK is MK, you know? And he added the YN instead of Wukong, because he's a doofus. And we were just vibing. He was like, okay, we're just gonna keep this chat now. And Red Sun was coming in and out like a Wally, whatever. A few chapters down the line, it was discovered like all the characters had an interest in the YN, or the YN had an interest in all the characters. Like, I don't know, like romantically in some way. I don't know what it was. It was just some kind of weird drama thing. And a few chapters down the line, Macaque was brought in eventually with Iron Fan and a few others or whatever. And I'd watched the episode that day, and I was like, okay. But couldn't remember how to pronounce his name, because when watching it, I ended up forgetting what his name was. So I read his name as like Mac. How do I say the rest of it? And I decided to just come out and call him Macaroni, because obviously. And so every time it said macaque, I changed it to macaroni. And I was reading it, and it seemed like the YN had a huge interest in mainly macaque. And I was like, okay, even though I myself has an interest in Monkey Kid, because he's the main guy, obviously. And I was going through it, and they changed the names on the messages, obviously, because it was a text messaging thing, and they changed the nickname. And the nickname that they called him was how can I put this in the right way? I can't. There's no right ways to put this. The nickname that they called Macaque in the story, I will share that story on my community tab later on. The nickname that they called him was Daddy. Okay, I will share that story so you know. Okay, and you can have a read because it is funny as hell. But anyways, that is the nickname that he got. I was like, oh, okay, hell no, I don't like this guy at all. Just no, okay. But I just went with it, and I was reading it. There was some good stuff. It was like really funny, and then there was some weird stuff. Whatever, just hold it back up. But either way, I finished reading the story, and I really enjoyed it. Even though I wish I didn't read it at some points, because in some points of the story it was a little, I don't know, it was a peculiar one. But also in that story, the YN had a cat, like Mo, but the cat was a little galaxy cat, which would be adorable. And the cat was called Mac. And the reason the cat was called Mac, because when the YN first got the cat, it stole her mac and cheese. But of course, Macaroni Boy, Macaque, so the cat was named after him. But it wasn't, obviously. Well, I need to go to bed. But anyways, I got to the end of it and I really enjoyed it. I was like, okay, even though there's a lot of things with the Macaroni Boy, it's good, And after that, I ended up simping for MK, so he made it on the background of my phone or whatever. And I was reading some more of his stories or whatever a few days later or whatever, and I got to a point where I read loads of stories and I had no more that seemed to interest me. I even read a load of one-shots, just skipping through the characters I didn't really care about. And so I needed more stories. And then I just decided, right, I'm just gonna take a break from reading from the stories, see if I can write any of my own, and obviously not publish them, and then just, whatever, see where it goes. And one day, I can't remember when it was, but it was a while ago, I was staring off into space, as I do, because I end up doing that often. I was staring into space, and I suddenly thought of Red Sun, and when I stare off into space, I can see things like when you're dreaming, but with my eyes open, because I do that a lot too. And I ended up kissing Red Sun in what I was seeing, so I snapped out of it. I was like, oh, what's going on here? So I was like, hold up, no way, no how, forget about that. Pushed that to the back of my mind and ignored it. So one night, a few days later, I was listening to a Monkey Kid tribute called Circus, and that is in the Monkey Kid playlist. There's a bunch of playlists for you guys to view. I've had some recent ones. I've been telling you guys that. Speaking of which, I've got another video that I could add to one of the playlists, the newest one that came out. Anyways, I was listening to that song, and every time it got to the chorus, I was thinking of Son Wukong. You guys know where this is going. I ended up simping for him, of course. So I was like, okay, fine, I'm simping for a monkey. Man, whatever. What am I gonna do? Because, to be honest, he's a monkey, so it's, but a man, so it's like half and half, whatever. And to be fair, I don't like simping for animals or man animals or whatever, because I find it kind of weird. So at the time I was like, right, I'm simping for Son Wukong, I can't help it, whatever. Just try to ignore it. Well, obviously that didn't end up happening, and I ended up, reading stories, blah blah blah. You get the gist. And I tried to ignore it because, like, previously I'd simped for characters like that. I mean, one time when I was 5, my first cartoon character crush. Okay, I'm gonna be honest here, but my first cartoon character crush was when I was 5, and it was that white polar bear dude from the Octonauts. And after that, I just never wanted to simp for animals again. But obviously, that didn't happen. I mean, I did tell myself a while later when I was like, goodness, how odd that no more animals, and then I ended up simping for a monkey years later. Oh well, but I ended up simping for Wukong, so he replaced MK on my backgrounds and stuff, and yada yada yada. And then I was gotten to the point where no more stories were interesting me. So I went to go around and I was looking for some more. And I was scrolling through some stories that had Wukong on it. But there's some random stories in there as well that weren't who I searched for. And there's a story by this one character that interested me. We mentioned this character earlier. It was Red Sun. Y'all know where this is going now. So I decided to read like the little thing they have about the story, and I had a read, and it's like, okay, this is cool. So I decided to read the story. I got to the end of it, and by then I was simping for Red Sun. I was like, oh great, I'm simping for one of the characters that I never wanted to. Whatever. So obviously, after all that, he was on my background and stuff, replacing Wukong, because that's how it is. And I was like, whatever, this is what it's gotten to. And so one day I was scrolling through YouTube. I was like, Monkey Kid Vines and TikToks and all that. And there was this one of them where it had like the video with a purple outline, and then like after each edit and stuff, they had the person talking about the thing. And I was like, okay, this is cool. And obviously this person was a macaque simp. I was like, oh great, a macaque simp, because at the time I still didn't like him at all. Even after I'd seen all 3 seasons, it was just no interest. But I was watching it, and I was just going through it. I was like, right, whatever, blah blah blah, no big deal. And I got to thing. There's like, oh, Macaque's voice is so fun. I'm so whatever, because I still had no feelings at all. And a while later, I was rewatching Monkey Kid, and I was like, ooh, now that I think about it, Iron Fan's voice actor is like really good for the villain role, especially in season 1. It's just like perfect. And then like while I was watching it, I was picking up the other characters' voice actors, and obviously I ended up picking up Macaque's voice actor. And then I was like, you know what? His voice actor does actually go for the villain role as well, and it's just perfect. And I was trying to imagine them as what would they be like in Ninjago, mainly Iron Fan and Macaque as villains in Ninjago, but with the voice actors obviously. And I was just like, you know what? Okay, the person from the video has a fair point. He does have a good voice actor, but that's it. Somehow, I don't remember how, but a while later, I ended up simping for Macaque. I was like, great. I said I didn't simp for the emo monkey, the Hot Topic version, but I did. So, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm simping for him now. Whatever. He ended up on my background. I was very happy with that. Okay, I was like, I'm not going to simp for him. It's going to be a little thing. I've taken a bit of an interest. He's not going to go on my background or anything. He went on my background. I started reading stories. Oops. So obviously I was kind of mad at myself because like I'm simping for this guy. I never wanted to simp for this guy, but I am doing. But whatever. And a while down the line, about a week or so, that was when I met my bestie sister. Well, I had recently been subbed to her because of the Monkey Kid channel, and then I was like, we were talking and became friends and stuff. And that's when I found out about her friend, which has the channel called Macaque. And then obviously I was like, we were doing the role play, and it was just like, rolling with it. I was like, okay, I'm in the show with Monkey Kid. I'm hanging out with Wukong, and I've just met Macaque. And obviously, because I was simping for Macaque, I was like, oh dear Lord, someone help. But I was just like, wait, why am I worrying? It's just the YouTuber, you know? It's not actually Macaque, you know, but whatever. And then the rest is history. We don't need to know what happens next, but y'all know what happens next. You even know yourself. Oh dear Lord, after this I'm gonna get this hoodie off. But yes, so what originally started off as not simping for Macaque at all and not having no interest and just finding him as another typical villain turned out into a huge simping phase, and it led me to where I am today. So I don't know if it was something to do with that story, because like I was talking about that story, the YN had a main thing for the YN had a main thing for Macaque. I don't know if that was giving me a sign. I don't know. I feel like that story was giving me a sign of, but I don't know. Do you guys believe in coincidences? But I will share that story with y'all. But don't worry. But yeah, what turned out to be no interest at all turned into a simping phase. I mean, it was similar for Kai, but like I obviously liked him as a ninja, and same with Moro, but I obviously liked him as a villain. But for Macaque, I had no interest at all. So it went from 0 to big simping thing that led from one thing to another. So that happened. But tell me, do you guys believe in coincidences? Because I don't know. I feel like there was something going on there. But all's well that ends well, I guess. That's basically what happened there. And then obviously I ended up watching season 4 and enjoying that, which I thought was pretty cool. Shame it ended in a cliffhanger though. I was just like, no, we need more. And then I found out it came out this year. I was like, fuck. I need more Monkey Kid. I've been rewatching it often. I finished rewatching it not too long ago. Actually, I need to rewatch season 4 for the second time. I'll get around to that either later tonight or tomorrow. Knowing me, I'll probably watch it at like 2 in the morning, just because I do not sleep. But who knows what I'll get up to. But yeah, I don't know. But this is something about that. I kind of believe in coincidences, but I kind of don't at the same time. It's I don't know what that was, but I don't know. Anyways, before we wrap it up, I'd just like to say, I hope you didn't mind my storytelling and my rambling and the fact that I was drinking. It's really hot in here. Maybe I should open a window. I don't know. I would take my hoodie off, but obviously I'm not wearing anything underneath. Speaking of my hoodie, it's a nice Todoroki one. It's a new one recently. I was gonna post it like I did with my Midori one a while back, but I decided not to. But it's a nice Todoroki one. I went out yesterday. This guy recognized it. It was like, oh, dude, that's that guy. Was it from my hero, isn't it? What's his name? Todoroki. I was like, yes, that's him. So someone recognized the hoodie. Some random guy. I don't know how old he was. I think he was like 30 or something. He was like, oh yeah, it's My Hero Academia. I was like, yes boy, part of the My Hero fandom. Let's go. But anyways, yeah.